uploaded to Facebook and Facebook and Workplace tomorrow morning. So we just want to thank everybody for coming out this evening. Just to give everybody a heads up, Steve is our last guest speaker for this time of the year. We're going to actually take a little break for this summer and take the summer off, the rest of the summer off, and we'll get kick-started again here sometime in the early fall. So, Steve, we just want to thank you for coming tonight. We look forward to your presentation, and hopefully we have lots of questions and answers for you.
All right, well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate this opportunity. And by all means, I'll get through my slides so that we can have a discussion and have questions and answers and just a good discussion, because there's plenty to pick up, I think, and learn from each other. So let me, I need to just set up to bring in my PowerPoint, right? And how am I going to do that? How do I?
So at the bottom, you should see share screen.
Yeah, there you go. And then I need to open a window. I open a window. How do I do this? Hang on. Can I just open the file, or do I have to open inside here? Let me see.
No, you can open the file.
All right, let me see if I could do that.
Yeah, if it's in PowerPoint or what have you.
Yeah, that's what I have it right here.
Your screen looks as busy as mine.
Oh yeah. Can everyone see this screen?
Yeah, so if you want to open it up even more,
Yes.
it'll make it here. There you
go. I can. There you go. And I could get rid of this here. Okay. So I'll just go ahead and get started, and I'll look to the chat box for questions when I'm done, I guess. Is that all right?
That'll work.
Okay. Okay. So I'm just to give you a little background. I have been an entrepreneur all my life, and back about 2000, my wife pleaded with me to go and get a regular paycheck. So I went into the senior business, the elder care business, and I started working for Right at Home, which I don't know if you're familiar with that franchise, but they do home care. And my job basically was to go into the community and market the home care business to everyone from doctors and hospitals to social workers to skilled nursing. I mean, I got a real good feel for the entire ecosystem for seniors. And then from there, I went on and I worked with Emeritus Senior Living, which was a assisted living community. And I spent a few years there, and they were bought by Brookdale, and I went to work for Brookdale. And from there, I started to get a little frustrated in my job. So I went back to my entrepreneurial ways, and I started a referral company called Senior Place Finder. And I started working with assisted living communities and senior families and helping them to find places for their loved ones. And from there, I said, I'm not making enough money, so I went into real estate. And when I got into real estate, I was lost. I was basically being taught a kind of a cookie cutter approach to selling real estate, and everyone was doing it. And I felt like I was begging for listings and not really offering more than anyone else could. So I was a little lost. And then I stumbled upon the SRES designation, and my mind started clicking, and I started realizing that there was a whole market out there that I could benefit from in the senior market. Because seniors, I learned from being in the position that seniors use their real estate to get into assisted living. They have to sell their home, and they use those proceeds to pay for the high cost of long-term care. So I started working like that and building a business model. And basically what you see, what I'm going to present to you here is an example of what I learned and what I picked up in the business model I created. So the business of senior real estate professionals has to do with being a real estate agent, but also a social worker and a project manager and a business developer. So you need to be able to do all those things within the paradigm that I've created. And we'll get into that a little bit. So let me go on to the next page. So, and this is something that you and I talk about all the time, Donald, that the senior market offers real success in real estate. So the net worth in the United States will grow from about $72 trillion in 2015 to about $120 trillion in net worth by 2030. And the boomers are the wealthiest generation in the United States until at least 2030. And their net household wealth peaks about 50% of that wealth of the nation. And by 2020, it's going to start to decline to about 45% of the wealth that we control, that the baby boomers control. The generation right behind us, which is a lot of who I do business with and who initiates the business, is Generation X. And these are people from 45 years up to 54 are the Generation X, and they're the next ones, and they're starting to take on a lot of the wealth of their parents. So they're going to be the next kind of class of group of people that we'll be addressing as SRES professionals. And then the next 15 years, the other thing I find interesting is that in the next 15 years, about $24 trillion will be bequeathed to family members and friends, other members. So there's a lot of money that's going to be transitioning, and a lot of it's coming out of real estate. So there's some clear signs that we're in the right business and who the wealthiest market is. And we're lucky enough they also own the most real estate, and they're going to have a real need to transition from their equity and get their equity liquidated and things like that. So that's all opportunities for us as SRES professionals. So one of the things I tell people, and I write it in my book, that you need to be an expert first. You need to be a senior expert. That's what will distinguish you from other realtors. And you could take your SRES designation, and that's going to give you enough background to start. But if you also want to get a good background as a senior advisor, study with the Society of Certified Senior Advisors. I don't know if you know about that, but the CSA is a very strong association of advisors who work with seniors, and the whole ecosystem. Its membership is made up of the whole ecosystem of companies and businesses that serve seniors. So it's a really good organization and a place to get some good, how should you say, some background so that you understand the market and you become an expert. All right. So changing the paradigm by serving seniors and families. The business model for an SRES holds advantages over the conventional practice of real estate in intentions and resources. So when you're a realtor, your intentions are to get the listing. But as a senior real estate specialist, your intentions kind of shift a little bit because your interest is more about the welfare and the well-being of the senior. And whether it's working with the senior directly or working with their family members, your position as an advisor to them to kind of help understand why someone needs to sell their real estate and what they should do after they sell their real estate and things like that. Whereas you're generally, as a realtor, you're trying to just get a listing, and everyone knows why you're trying to get it. So this kind of shifts your positioning when you go and you approach potential clients, is that you're not focused on give me a listing, please. It's more about what's going on in your life and why are you at this point in your life where you're considering selling your home. And so those are the kind of positions you take. So again, the family looks at you as an advisor with needed knowledge. You're able to locate the senior market in your community. You want to be able to learn the businesses and the various missions of all the different businesses in the community that work with seniors so that you could pass that on to your clients, that information. You want to also, there's all kinds of networking organizations out here. There's something called MAPS, and we get together monthly as a bunch of marketers for senior products and services. So there, if you want to hunt out those kind of groups and get in with them. The other thing I try to tell people is to use our resources. That if you go, for instance, to an assisted living and meet with their marketing executive, and you want to put on an event at their location, what you bring to the table is you could bring the addresses from your title company. They'll give you labeled addresses of everyone has owned a mortgage for over 30 years, for instance. And all of a sudden you bring that list to a assisted living marketing executive, and they'll take it over and they'll say, okay, let's put together a flyer, and you're working together to market, and you can have the event at their place, and they'll even set up a buffet and the whole thing. I mean, they go to great means to market with you. So that's the other nice thing, to get to know the businesses and how you can co-opt your resources, because as realtors, we have a lot of resources. And we'll get into this more. To build a team of business advisors, when I talk with families, my ability to know a whole chain of specialists and businesses that can help them through their transition, the more I'm able to offer them and make them feel like there's not that many barriers to them moving forward. And so I try to present myself in a way that I'm part of a team, and we'll come in and we'll take care of everything for you. And a lot of times I'm dealing with family members who are in another state, and they're asking me to take care of their loved one's home and do everything I need to do to get them into an assisted living. So by having this team, I'm able to bring some comfort and get the business, because I have that advantage. Okay, so let's go on to the next slide. So know the issues and dynamics. So this is where you're kind of like a social worker, to know the surroundings with the seniors, their family. You want to, as you know, it's usually their biggest investment. So them making a decision to sell their home is a big deal. They need that equity to pay for care or some other item that they need and they can't handle. So they need to sell the house. The other thing to recognize, and you do this through talking and interviewing, is to recognize their emotional attachment and the families, the dynamic in the family to the house. Sometimes it's the adult children that make it hardest to sell a house because they're so attached to it. But what I try to do is I try to make them part of the sales process, the decision-making process, and to set things up so that I make sure that they are part of the whole transition. So some of the things that when you go in and you assess a house and you assess a client, you want to see how they're living. You want to see if there's any burn marks above the oven, if there's papers all over. I have clients where I'll go into their house and I'll notice that they're sleeping downstairs on the couch because they can't walk upstairs anymore. And so these are kinds of things that you want to put together and present to the family and help them to understand that they're not doing their loved one a service by keeping them in the house. And that, again, you want to make these kinds of assessments and kind of have a good feel for the family as to how you should best present it. But it's definitely, you need to be a realist and bring that to them, that there's certain things that if they don't take care of it now, it's just going to end in a crisis. So someone will fall, someone will not be eating. I had a lady that I helped her to get into assisted living when I went to see her house and met her. It turned out that she hadn't eaten for days, and I made her breakfast, and then I came back the next day and she hadn't even touched it, and she was sitting in the same chair. And when I went to touch her, she couldn't even take my feel. So I knew something was wrong. I took her to the hospital, and the doctor told me that had I waited another day, she would have made it. She would have passed because she was anemic and she was dehydrated. And those are things, again, that as a senior real estate specialist, you start to notice and you become aware of when you're dealing with seniors. And it all makes you part of that expertise that you have, and that you could, the things that you could, the value that you could bring a family to help them to make their transition. And you, if you're an SRES specialist, you know this, that it's very hard sometimes to make that, for someone to give up their house and to move. A lot of times I've run into a situation where when after talking with them and diving into it, the reason they're not moving is they've got too much stuff. They don't know what to do with their stuff. And so when you find that out, you could then bring in the estate sales, and you could bring in the garage sales and the cleaners and the packers and things like that. So, and the other thing that I do is I always explain to them that we'll have a schedule where we'll bring their family in and have them look at everything and pick the things they want, so that it continues on, and then we'll sell the rest that doesn't have any value. So all these kinds of things you do as a senior real estate specialist. It goes beyond just what a realtor will do. Let's go to the next slide. So I try to tell people that there's a whole economy for seniors that many of them don't even know about. So I've kind of written some of them here, and these are all places that as a senior real estate specialist, you want to get to know them. You want to go and make visits and bring them cookies, or get to know them and get to know their business and what their needs are and how you can help them. But by knowing these people, you, again, it helps, it adds to your expertise. If you know that there's a Medicare specialist, that's something you can bring to your client. If you know a life insurance broker or a life settlement agent, you can bring these people to your clients. A lot of people, and Donald, you probably know this, the VA has benefits for seniors. If you have two daily activities that you need help with, that the VA has something called the aid and attendance benefit. And you could then bring that person, that VA specialist and advisor in, and help them to apply for that. And there's not a lot of realtors that offer their clients, you know, $200,000-300,000 a year in benefits. But if you know that the client can qualify because they're a veteran and they need help with a couple of the daily activities of living, then all of a sudden you can bring this kind of a benefit to your client. So that's another benefit that not a lot of realtors have, where they could bring money to their clients. But everything from, you know, packers, movers, relocation managers, estate sales and auctioneers, reverse mortgage. Sometimes it sounds a little counterintuitive to make friends with reverse mortgage brokers, but they're the first ones that know when someone can't live in their house anymore and that they have to get out of their reverse mortgage. So knowing them is sometimes it can bring you a referral. So like I say, there's a whole economy out there that is really in the senior market, and you can go after them and make friends and become collaborative kind of professionals, where you can offer more comprehensive services to your clients. Let's see. So this kind of we're almost done here. So the senior market paradigm, it's better dynamic. Your expertise changes your position and dynamic with clients. Think of yourself as an advisor first and a real estate agent second. As an advisor, know the issues, options, and solutions affecting seniors and their families, and you want to consider them with your prospective clients. Learn about your client's background, health, and daily needs. Find out if they are military veteran. As a senior advisor, their interests are your interests, and you want to treat them like your own parents. Again, as a senior real estate specialist, you want to go in and make assessments and convey to the client and the adult children how you feel and what you think might be a good route for them and how best for them to move forward. Offer a plan for safety and a thoughtful transition. It's not just a real estate transaction, it's usually a life's transition. So that's something to keep in mind. I think that's it. So I've listed some of the unique sources. I don't know if many of you realize this, but as a senior real estate specialist, one of the things that I do is I act as a referral company for assisted living. And it's a nice little added resource, revenue source for my business. And it's something that I think senior real estate should consider, because it's really part of the process. Usually when someone, not usually, but many times when someone's selling a house, it's because they need to move to an assisted living. And if you could help them with both, there's money to be made. The senior living, the assisted living will pay about 85% of the first month's rent if you refer someone to them. And so I have contracts with Brookdale and Pacifica and all the various senior living communities so that I could bring them referrals. And it's a little added source. I have an advisor for aid and attendance. You want to learn about that and find out who can help you with that, because there's nothing like being able to tell a prospective client that, hey, by the way, because you're a veteran, I can set it up so that you can get an additional $2,500, $2,300 a month for care purposes, to pay for care. And that could be a family member, by the way. So it's a nice little added. Get to know the adult daycare centers. And I think that's pretty much I talked about the cooperative marketing, use your resources and talk to everyone from elder law attorneys to assisted living communities. They all need to market. And we have sources that we could co-opt together. And again, the idea is that you become part of their network as well as they become part of yours. So I wrote a book about this whole paradigm, this business model. If anyone wants to really get into it, I kind of discuss the various industries and how to approach them and what they're looking for, and kind of get into the assessment process, being able to go into a house and break it down and figure out where, if there's unsafe areas, if things like that you could pass on to the family. So I wrote this book, and that's available if you're interested on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. And then the thing that I'm working on now is I've built this paradigm for the internet. So I built about 15 websites that are all connected, and it connects you to professionals as well as sending you referrals from seniors. So I've taken this basic paradigm that we all work under and automated it and made it available online so that your outreach could be done online with other professionals, and you can also be receiving new referrals, new customers through the platform. So if anyone's interested, I'll be happy to send you a link of where you can go and sign up and receive referrals.
Yeah,
And
Steve, put that in the chat. Put your link in the chat.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah,
I'll do that.
This way everybody can just click on over to it, sign up, register, whatever.
Great.
This way they can see it right now, and we can get it out to them as well.
That'd be great. I will do that right now. Here's what it is for now. Eventually, it's going to be srepclub.com, and then it's going to be srep.
So Steve, one of the questions in the chat is the referral portion of the assisted living partnership legal here in Florida? Do you know if it's legal in Florida?
Say that again. I'm not sure what you're asking.
Is the referral portion of the assisted living partnership legal in Florida? Is it legal in all states to take a referral fee from an assisted living facility?
Yes. So if you look at a place for mom, that's their business model.
Okay.
And they do it all over the country. Now,
So
there might be certain technical things where maybe you have to register or something in certain states, but the business model for assisted living is based on referrals and paying referral fees. So as far as I know, it is legal. There are no types of certifications or anything like that you need. And the key is just setting up a good contract between you and the community that says that if you bring someone in. But again, I'm not clear on all laws, I'm not clear on Florida law,
Yeah.
but I know that A Place for Mom is a national company and they make their money by referring.
Yeah, so what I would say is check with your broker and see what your broker would say.
Yeah.
How
I don't
they,
even think your broker's gonna know about this business.
right, I understand, but in some cases, does it go through your brokerage? Does it go through your company if you have an LLC or some sort of?
No, it'll go through your company. It has nothing to do with your brokerage. It's a separate revenue source that you could
In
use
Florida,
in your business.
not in Florida. Florida goes through the brokerage. All monies go through the brokerage. So in Florida, all the assisted living nursing homes, Brookdales of the world, they all have a real estate license in Florida. And they have pretty much one person that can pay that referral. And that person may be, Mary Jane, but everybody, it's paid through that one person. They're not all real estate licensed people you're working with, but there is one person that pays that referral back to your brokerage in Florida.
Okay, so in other words, if you have a referral company and you also have a real estate license, you're saying you have to, any business you do as a referral company, you have to pass through your brokerage?
That's correct.
Huh. So A Place for Mom, do they have a broker?
Every place like that has a person. It's just like our developer here. They have one person that is what I'll call real estate realtor. And they also have all the developments here that have one person. So yes, it all goes back through your broker. I don't know any other state, but Florida has to go through the broker.
Huh. That's interesting. Yeah, it's not like that here in California. In California, it's a total separate business. Has nothing
It's
to do
not
with
like
real
that
estate.
in North Carolina either. I also have that type of business, Steve. And
Okay.
everything from the referral goes through my LLC. And then my
Right.
brokerage is just a separate thing that I offer families to help bring them closures, list and sell the home.
Right.
So I've spent 10 years in sales as a director for several assisted living communities, and decided to get my license for the very reason that you're saying, is because what I have found in working with all these families these years is that they oftentimes have to sell their home to pay for that living.
Right. Right. And that's one of the things that we, as senior real estate specialists, that's what we understand and what we bring to the table. I mean, we understand what needs to be set up prior. I mean, everything with the seniors in the preparation. You don't want to jump into a sale or put something on the market until you're prepared and you have all the background on what the family's position is and what's going on. And then you would go from there, and that in the position you've been. So yeah, and it's a different kind of real estate that, in my opinion, is easier only because you're not just a realtor who's looking for properties. You offer
Right.
something of a perspective and a perception of something that people are afraid of and they're not conditioned to understand. Our society makes us ignore our retirement years. I mean, it just goes on and on. As you know, we're running into a crisis all the time. People aren't taking these matters seriously until there's a crisis. And so
Right.
that's part of what I think as senior real estate specialists, we need to change. We need to help change that culture where people start realizing it's a good thing, and that adult children start to realize that, yeah, they don't want to be part of it, but you better get part of it early on because you're going to be part of it later and it's going to be much worse. So I think that it's up to us to pass on that insight into families that really are in a different line. They don't think about it. They don't think about these years. And, the dynamic between adult children and their parents are such that kids are afraid to say anything to their parents or tell them what to do. And at some point, the truth is that you become the parent and you have to take that position, not vocally, but in terms of how you make decisions, how you make them address the issues. Because what I find with seniors is they'll let it go. They're comfortable and they'll let it go as long as they can. They want to stay in their home at all costs. And then all of a sudden they fall down and they can't anymore. And they go into a skilled nursing, and now the plan is much tighter. And we have to do things so that we make sure strategically that they don't go back home, that they go from a skilled nursing right into an assisted living and
Right.
things like that to avoid the situations that we run in. But those are the kind of things that I see us as social workers, that we really need to bring that element to our business and help people understand what the dynamics are.
Well, oftentimes I find that it's the fear of the unknown, right? If they've been in their home for 40 years, that's the last thing they want to do, is to give up their independence by giving up that home. And so,
Yeah.
like you said, you do oftentimes become a therapist,
Yeah.
in addition to these other roles you're taking on. And I think it's important because, when they're already going through that traumatic experience of having to leave home, they've built that relationship with you. And so when it comes to them having to list their home, they don't want to have to build another relationship. They've already got it established with yourself.
Yes.
That's what I have found.
Yeah, and I agree with you that if you go in and you offer your expertise, that the business will come to you, and because they'll feel comfortable and they'll realize that you have some expertise in what they need to accomplish, where they need to get. The other thing that I've run into a lot is that people see their 40 years of life in their house and they have no idea where to start to make the transition. So a lot of times I go in and just bring a plan, and it gives them comfort, and all of a sudden they can move forward because they feel like, okay, everything's going to be taken care of. And so being able to provide that plan, and you do that first by talking and finding out where everything is and looking around, and eventually you could provide a plan for the senior as well as their children to make them feel comfortable that everything can, all the T's will be crossed and the I's will be dotted, and at the end their parents are going to be happy, and they'll have peace of mind that they don't have to worry that something's happening to their mom and dad while they're alone in their house and they can't walk up the stairs or something, So, all right. Any other questions? Anything else we could discuss?
Yeah, I have a bunch of questions. Sorry, my video's not on. I
That's
actually
okay.
was at the gym so that I can age in place and stay healthy.
Good for you.
I'm curious. So the website that you put in the notes in the chat, that is your company?
Yeah. So I've been doing this for a while, and one of the things that I've done is this paradigm that we've all been working under. I've automated it, so I can send referrals. So what happens is the consumer goes into one side and they can get a free property evaluation. They can go in and read about you, read about your experience, see some of the homes that you've represented. And if they want to contact you, they hit get contact information. And when they go to get their contact information, the system sends you a request for a referral if you want this referral. And if you say yes, then we send the consumer your information, and we send the consumer's information to you. And then you're able to then communicate, and we provide updates and things like that you would do. So the system also connects you with other professionals. So part of your senior team, there's 15 websites, 7 of them belong to, one's assisted living, one's for VA specialists, another one's for elder law attorneys, another one's for lenders and in retirement planners, and certified financial planners. So everyone has these web, and then you go in as a consumer, as a senior, and you pick what you want, and then I connect you. The system connects you.
Right. So
and
how many
sets up a
hits?
referral?
It's brilliant. How many hits a month are you getting?
No. I am launching this as we speak. You're the first ones I've given this link to. I've been working on this
okay.
for 3 years. And so it's right now in a very beginning stage where I need people to test it and check it out and go online and put themselves in and from there, I'm going to start growing it.
Okay,
We're
Our
just
folks can break it. If you want it broken, we'll break it.
That's right. That's what I'm looking for right now. And it's all free, by the way. Everything is free. You can set yourself up and I market you and do everything for free. The only time there's any money involved, if I send you a referral that turns into a listing, that turns into a sale. So the way the system's set up, it asks for 25% of your gross commission on a referral, which is
Okay.
cheap.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, I'm gonna like tinker around in here. and-
Yeah, do you have my email? I'm going to give you my email too.
Yeah,
if I
why don't
may.
you put that
And then
out
you
there?
guys could give me your feedback and everything like that, so. Let's see, KW. There's my email.
Okay,
Yeah, so it's just the platform is something that I've thought about for a long time, and I started building it 3 years ago, if you can believe it. I've been working to bring it all together. It's very, very in-depth, very deep kind of technology, and I think it's going to be a big hit. I mean, my goal is, on the one side, is to really help seniors become empowered to be their own shoppers, if you will, their own the ability to find people themselves and not have to rely on third parties to connect them. And on the other side is to connect the senior market of professionals and specialists so that they could offer their services to each other, refer each other, and also create collaborative kind of plans. When someone sells their house, yeah, they might be using it for assisted living, but there's a chunk there that might be good in an annuity. So you might set them up where you refer your client to a investment advisor, and that investment advisor will then, not only do you get credit in the system for referring someone, but then a campaign goes out to get you reciprocal referrals within the database. And eventually I'll be paying people for these kind of connections, but not to start, not to launch. Not in the launch.
So Steve, do we need a SRS to get started?
So what I've done is I've told, the way that the membership agreement is, that you have 120 days to sign up, because I'm offering charter memberships right now.
Okay.
Charter membership is a kind of a legacy status. As the system grows and we start adding metrics to it, that legacy status gives you an added weight to your membership status. So what I've said is you can go ahead and sign up, get the charter membership, but you have 120 days then to get your SRES designation. If you don't have the SRES designation, if you have the SCA, I would accept that in the platform, which is the certified senior advisor. that certification, I don't know if any of you ever looked into it. It's very rigorous. It's a rigorous testing, and you really have to know your stuff to pass and get your certification.
You can do it online, and you can do it in Florida. There are different real estate boards that are offering it at different times.
Oh,
And
good. Yeah, no.
And it costs $295.
Yes. So there's but again, I think that if you have that certification, it really sets you up as someone who knows the elder industry, senior market, in my opinion, and all the dynamics and issues and things like that go along with it. So those are the two certifications and designations that I'm looking for. If you have either one of those, you can join and get referrals. If you don't have it, you have 120 days to get it, and then start getting referrals.
so is there some kind of code you want us to use to go ahead and register, or?
No, I'm tracking everything. So the system's very sophisticated. When you go in, you're verifying your email address. From there, you set up your account, and we're tracking all of that. So you don't have to, you do everything on your own. You put in your own password, everything.
So can I just ask, like, if you had to give you've been working on this a long time. If you had to give the 30-second elevator pitch for what this is.
Okay.
It's not a referral system. It's more than that. So like, how do you just sort of, in a nutshell, wrap it up?
Well, what I've done is I've connected the senior market with its entire ecosystem and providing information to consumers and referrals, business and market data to the professional. But it's a platform that connects the marketplace together. So, and again, in my experience, what the senior consumer is lost, and they have to rely on third parties. This platform empowers the seniors and their family members to go in and learn about your business and learn about the different businesses and be able to connect directly and then talk directly to the source to get information and get answers to your questions, as opposed to a third party. So in a nutshell, basically the system is connecting the senior market so that everyone can benefit from the enterprise that goes on, that's available.
Great. Okay, that helped clarify it.
I'm gonna have to work on that a little bit though. Anyone else?
Do you have businesses that are nationwide, or are they businesses that are more state oriented?
Both. So usually national businesses will have local, and the way that the database is set up, you go in as a corporate company and then you can invite all your local area, your branches, and each branch can then invite their agents, and everyone gets a dashboard and everyone gets to be able to oversee the business and activity that's going on through the system.
And Steve, I think that's huge right now because I don't know, at least in North Carolina, my referral sources are telling me that they're getting away from a place for mom because it's so impersonal. But your platform is actually creating what they were lacking. Making
Yes.
it, local people that are trusted advisors to these seniors that know the demographics and the geography.
Yes, and they're talking directly with the source and not a third party.
Yes.
Which
Yep.
is, when I was working for Brookdale, it drove me crazy because I would do all the work and the
Me
referral
too.
company was, and the referral company was getting the big bucks. So I wanted to build a system that said, you know what, let's make the source the person that knows. And so, that's one of the foundational purpose of this platform is to empower people to be able to do this kind of work themselves. The other thing that happens, and I'm sure you all run into this, adult children are missing work. They're having to leave the workplace and take care of their mom's crisis or their dad's crisis. With my platform, everyone can do it at 10 o'clock at night. I can set up meetings with 3 or 4 different assisted livings. I could access an elder law attorney. I could get a retirement investment advisor to take the money after I could do everything online at home after work, after the kids are asleep. I could take care of mom and dad and their situation. So the idea is to be able to handle it in a crisis mode, but also to plan. And one of the things that we want to do is try to change the culture so that it's kind of a cool thing to think about your retirement and to plan and to set up your senior team, because we all need a senior team that can handle all the different elements from your senior living to your wealth and estate to your well-being and the lifestyle that you lead. All those kinds of things we can take care of online now, and that's the goal.
And Steve, can I ask, you mentioned that your initial people signing up would have like their own landing page. Is that correct?
Yeah. So when you sign up, there's counterpart sites. So the SREP Club is where the professional goes to sign themselves up, put in all their information, their logos, their photos, everything like that. And then that information is made available on the SREP finder. So when the consumer goes in to look for SRES professional, they could put in their zip code and that they're buying or selling, and they could put in that they want a property evaluation. And then I'll bring up a list of realtors, SRES professionals that match their request. And then they could go through, pick the ones they want, create a list where they can create a contact list. And anyone they choose to contact, that sets up a referral.
Okay. I'm going to email you offline about one of my ideas for my landing page.
Okay, good.
Just a marketing idea.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
It's not hard to make it a user. I'm already in there.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it was very easy to sign up.
Only thing is when I
Okay.
signed up, it said your name. I put my first and last name. It came in and said, oh, your first name is Roger Crummett. No, it's not. So I had to
What-
change the
what-
profile. It has one place to put your name. So you put your first and
Right.
last name, but it really only wants your first name there, I guess. And you,
That's right. The
Yeah.
next box is for last name, I know.
I didn't see that one. I just saw name. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
I
the first box is, I know, and that's confusing because a lot of times you put both your names in the first box, but on this particular sign up, they ask for your first name and then the next box down is
I
your
missed-
last name.
I changed
all
the
right.
profile.
You
It's
can
okay.
edit it. Yeah, no problem.
It's
All right,
okay.
well, good. I'm glad to hear it's okay to sign it up. And
Yeah, I'm in there.
if you have any questions, call me. Good, good. And I will keep you in my email list and update you on what's going on. And we can hopefully build a long relationship here.
So Steve, if you want to put your contact information into the chat.
Yeah. it is.
Yeah, I did already, but
Hey,
I'll
Steve,
do my phone number too. Yes,
can you
sir.
hear me, Steve?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, I'm trying to get on. I'm on my phone. So first, I've been trying to get on this for a while, but I had another conflict. I only get on about 5 minutes ago, but so far it sounds very good, very interesting. So I really like to find out more information. I put it on my chat. I don't know if you see my email there. If you can send me information,
Joe, are you Joe?
Yeah, Joe at San Jose at beyond.com. I am a SRES, and I would love to find out more how to get involved and all that.
Joe, I
Okay,
just
good.
sent you an email with the 2 websites that Steve put up.
Okay,
And
Perfect.
also
Donald,
make a note that you're recording this, correct? So he can go online and watch the whole thing over again. And
This-
get
yeah,
all
how
the-
do I get it? That was my next question. Is there recording? How do I get it?
So the recording will be in Facebook, in the Facebook group, or in Workplace. So if you're with EXP, it's in Workplace, this EXP Seniors Network. If you're not with EXP, it'll be on the Seniors Network on Facebook.
Yeah, I am EXP also happens to be, but I just saw your email, so I will follow up on that and thank you. At least I have a contact.
and I'll be in touch with you too, Joe. I'll send you information.
Not a problem. Joe.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that, Steve. Thank you.
My pleasure. All right, so if
Anything
can-
else? Anybody else have any questions, thoughts, comments?
Thanks for coming.
Yes. What's
Thanks
the
for coming.
other designation that you were talking about besides the SRES?
it's called CSA,
Okay.
CS, Certified Senior Advisor. And you really got to study for that one. The SRES, you could kind of, you know, you don't have to study as hard, but for the CSA, you really have to study.
What is the basic elements that
So
that
they go through like basically they go through all the financial side of the senior. So you get to know about the IRAs and the Roths and you know how they are best cashed in and when you have to cash them in, all the different rules that
Oh,
go
that's
along with it. Those things you have to have. You have to know a little bit about assisted living and the level of the quality, you know, the daily activities, you know,
Right.
and care, and there's various kinds of things within the senior market that you have to know. Trust, irrevocable trust, or revocable trust. All, I mean, I could go on and on. There's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
good amount of information that makes you a senior advisor. But when you have that advisor, all of a sudden, the whole way that you approach real estate changes, and you become someone who has a greater value because you have information that's harder to find. Everyone that, you know, I always tell everyone has a realtor in their family, but not everyone has a senior advisor in their family. And
Right.
so when you can combine all the different things that involve seniors and their issues and circumstances around their real estate, you bring value not only to the senior and their family, but also to the community, because you're helping to take care of their seniors. And I think that's part of the reason why you want to collaborate with other professionals. You want to get out there and meet the elder law attorneys. You want to get out there and meet the Veterans Administration's advisors that work with seniors. There's a whole network of people and businesses that you want to interface, because that's where you can bring yourself business, give business, and create a lot of goodwill.
So I was just going to suggest, if some people on this call don't already have this in their area, they could start up like a senior connect, where they have people from those different professions, and they meet up at like a community, like an independent or assisted living community, once a month in different places to help build that network.
Yeah, no, exactly right. And the other thing I was kind of getting at, you could do an ongoing monthly, which the assisted living community has these large common areas that they could offer, but they love these kinds of people coming in because they also see it as referrals coming to them as a way of spreading their business. So co-opting with assisted living communities is really a smart thing to do. And, you know, you could do kind of like joint presentations where you invite an elder law attorney, then yourself, and maybe a Medicare professional. And you could do a night of professionals where you bring in, you send out, you get the labels from your title company of people who've owned their homes over 30 years, and you send out the assisted living will actually do the art and do the labels and put them on and mail them for you, everything. And then you have a presentation at that location, and they'll even, a lot of times they'll set up the buffet, and you can make a first-rate kind of presentation or event by tying in, and it didn't cost you anything. So it's something to keep in mind. It's a very strong partner. I can't tell you how many referrals I get from assisted living communities. So it's a very strong partner to have. And you can, you know, every community might have, depending on the size, but, you know, anywhere from 3 to 15, 20 assisted livings that you might need to get to know in your community. And once you do, then, and there are these, usually there's these networking meetings, and you want to find out about them, because those are good places to present what you're doing and get to know other people. And you know, like you, I'm sure you're the same as me. I never know where I'm getting my next referral, but as long as I'm out there, I know I'm getting them.
Steve, what's the name of your book again?
The name of the book is How to Capture the Senior Real Estate Market. And it's on Amazon, it's on Barnes & Noble, as well as an ebook.
Is it on Kindle?
It should be, yes. It'll
I
be
have,
everywhere. It's everywhere.
okay, I'm sorry to get administrative here, but I'm literally trying to sign up, and I got to the read and accept terms and conditions. And
Yeah, you want to go down and check the boxes. So there's going to be 2 boxes
yeah,
that
I
you
only
need
have
to check.
I only have one box.
Go all the way
Could be-
down the
Yes.
bottom.
Thank you very much for saying that, because
Or go up
in
towards
developing, I've been telling them that we need to put the checks together. If you scroll all the way down, you'll see the second checkbox.
Okay.
yeah, or there's one closer towards the top.
Well, you
Oh,
need to
I
check
missed
both
the
of them.
top one. Okay, I missed the top one. Got
Okay.
it.
Or it doesn't like
Yeah.
the phone number.
Yeah.
It has to be all digits, no spaces, no dashes.
No space. Yes, yeah.
No
Little things like that.
parentheses.
Any other questions?
I wish I had my programmers on with me right now, because we have this kind of debate for hours sometimes, trying to explain to them how we need to do this. So I appreciate everything you guys, the feedback you're giving me.
You need to
What's
make
the
it
difference?
user-friendly.
What's that?
You need to make it user-friendly. If we, as professionals, are having difficulty, some of these other people may have more difficulty getting in.
100%. I spend hours and hours trying to make it user friendly. So wherever you have a glitch, let me know. I also have like analytics in the page. So I'm also looking at where things are stopping and things like that. So, but I appreciate your input, any input you could give me. I haven't launched this yet. You're the first ones that are going in.
What's the difference between the two links that it sent me? Is there any cost to sign up either one of the group, or is it a different group?
No, this is free to sign up. There's no cost. The only time you're charged is when I send you a referral that converts to a sale.
Okay, I just get into one of those. So, okay, I'm going to sign up.
Yeah,
Okay,
play with it,
thank you.
and you have my contact info. I'd love to get your feedback. So if you get stumped somewhere, let me know and we'll fix it.
I don't have your contact. I have,
I put it in the chat box.
Yeah, it's in the chat.
can you email it? I am on the phone, guy.
Yeah, I'll email you.
I email
I'll
you,
email
please. On the phone, I'm not too good at that. I don't know how to pick it up on the phone.
No problem. I'll get it for you. I'll get it for you.
Yes.
I have it. I have your information, Joe.
Yeah, we just
Thank
want to honor everybody's time. It's 8 o'clock Eastern and
Yeah.
5 o'clock
And I wanna-
Pacific.
All right. I want to thank you all.
Steve, just want to thank you for your presentation, your time this evening. And we look forward to seeing everybody sometime in the early fall, perhaps.
Sounds
Yep.
good. Have a great summer, you everyone, and I'll be in touch. Take care. Thank you.
Great
Thank you.
presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.